I have this crazy ongoing crisis inside. It's a battle between painting and composing. When I compose, I find the composition inside. It's not possible to find the composition outside the same way as you find a mountain outside that you want to paint. So composing is always from the inside out. It's an expression. When I paint without looking anything else but the canvas, it's very similar to composing. I express myself from the inside out. I'm not looking at anything except the white canvas. But as I paint, I look at what I have already painted. And the more I paint, the less of the white canvas is left. So painting means that you end up with something on the canvas in front of you that you are looking at, and the more you paint, the more there is on the canvas. This also happens to some extent when you compose, but the difference between something you paint on a canvas and a composition is that as you go along the melody, you move in space and time inside yourself. And you're not looking at the whole song like you're looking at the whole painting. You are only focusing on that particular point in time where you are in the melody, and the rest of the melody is kept alive in your memory, and you don't have to focus on it. I find that when I paint, if I let myself abstract too much, looking at what already is on the canvas, I detach myself from being expressive, and I become more reflective on what is on the canvas. And that is a problem. And I always tell myself not to worry too much about what is already on the canvas. And I tell myself, when I paint, I have to paint over what is already there and not worry too much about destroying what is already there, because what I'm doing is adding more and more to the canvas, and what I add to the canvas is more important than what is already there. This is of course not true all the time, because you get to a point where you realize that it's impossible for you to add anything that is better than what is already on the canvas, and this is the time when the painting is finished. Same thing happens when you write a melody. When the melody is strong, so strong that it's stronger than you, and you realize that it will not be possible for you to make any change in the melody, because the melody has grown to become bigger than you, so you have to accept it as it is. And this is the definition of creating. When you create something that is alive and it's living its own life, and there is nothing you can add to it because you have given birth already. It's no longer inside of you, it's outside, and it's living its own life. But back to what was the original thought when I started this video. I have this conflict with myself that I want to express myself without looking at anything. If I look at a motif, I feel that it's difficult for me to be expressive. Because when I look at something, I copy it, and that is not what I want. I don't want to copy the girl or the mountain or the tree or the chair or the house or the vegetation. I don't want to copy it. I want to look at the motif and find an expression of what it feels like to express what I'm looking at. It's very different from making photographs. When you photograph the visual universe. Everything in the universe is visual. It's a picture. And language is also visual. Words are pictures. When you talk, you use words, and the words are pictures, and you place pictures into language, and you transmit the message to the next person using pictures. Everything in the universe is about pictures. So when you photograph something, you take a photo that is exactly looking the same as what you were looking at. But when you look at paintings of Van Gogh or Monet, the painting is not a representation of what he was looking at. The painting is a representation of his interpretation or expression. When you have something that you want to express, or maybe you just find yourself in a position of expressing yourself, it's because something has been building up inside of you, and it's trying to get out. It's trying to express itself through you. So what I'm saying is that I want to look at something and I want to paint, but I don't want to paint what I'm looking at. I want to paint something else. John Anderson of Yes, he is calling the music of Yes that he co-created as a mental construction. And I find that very interesting because it's been said about Jesus that he was very mental. And so what is a mental construction? Is Monet's paintings mental constructions? Yes, I think so. What you imagine and express is a mental construction because the way you imagine it has to do with how you express it. You are holding it inside and you are letting it out, or you are giving it out or expressing it. And what you express is this mental construction that already exists inside of you before you start expressing yourself. So the question about what you are going to express is all about what is it really that you are carrying inside. Is it music or is it a painting? Maybe I have been fooling myself all the time, thinking that what I am carrying around are paintings, when all along it was music, and it never was paintings.